number of people living on the streets by almost 75%.
And we trade tax dollars around for different programs, but not necessarily increasing the amount that is required, but more efficiently and effectively leveraging those funds to expand a program or to create a program.
I mean, like putting them all in one building.
That's true.
Putting all those services in one location saved money.
Yeah.
Sharing administration costs and secretaries and phones and heating and lighting saves money. So again, if you do it correctly, then it actually saves you money.
You're starting to, I think, probably wind down here pretty quick.
Yeah, I did want to, I did, because you brought up the question about drugs, and I was curious on the marijuana issue. Because in the Columbia County Board of Commissioners had passed a moratorium, and then it was an appeals court essentially overturned that. And I'm curious about what your opinion is of how the Board of Commissioners handled the marijuana and I guess the dispensaries and the introduction of those into Columbia County, and what you may have done differently.
Now, I'll jump right in there. Now, I understand that the commissioners, the state set out the requirements for the growing of the marijuana. And the commissioners adopted the state rules. I feel that the commissioners let us down as property owners out here. This is a drug. It's not a crop. I mean, it's not like raising corn or anything like that, or watermelons or anything. It's a drug. And for them to allow the growers to grow it out into the communities, that puts every neighbor at risk. So basically what they did is they put everybody in the rural area at risk. It's a drug. It should be put, if it's supposed to be so profitable, they should be building warehouses, put it in the warehouses where they have total control of it, and let them grow it there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as it being approved at the state level and the state law and the way the counties essentially had to roll out how those.
They didn't have to adopt the entire policy that the state has. They could have, the county could have made it where they're not allowed to grow it in the rural areas. Say, Columbia County, we're going to, if you're going to grow it here, you have to grow it in the warehouses. They can do that.
I think the county sort of agreed. I think the county failed. I think they failed, again, not on requiring that, but the fact that they had to go to court and they had plenty of time. I mean, their excuse was, we didn't have time. They had the same amount of time as every other county in the state did. And I think they were frankly negligent. Pot's here to stay, whether we like it or not. It's statewide law. And it's not going to go away, and the county needed to adapt to that quickly rather than have to be sued. And
Margaret, is it a crop? Is marijuana a crop that could have some potential in the county?
An agricultural crop.
In California,
It's been grown around the county, I'm sure, for a long time. Having grown up in the '60s,
Nobody grew up in the '60s.
I don't remember. No.
If you remember them, you weren't there.
Right. That's it. Well, I think that certainly the voters of Oregon have approved it as legal, and it is an agricultural crop. The Oregon Department of Agriculture is having a very difficult time creating the framework to deal with it. And any of us who are involved in agricultural groups that are either federally funded, are having a very difficult time dealing with it also, because if someone asks somebody at the Columbia SWCD about it, they have to step back, because if you have federal funding, you really cannot participate in conversations about that. It's a real difficult problem to have something that's legal in your state and illegal elsewhere, and I think we have to be very careful as we develop the rules around it so that we can maintain some control over what's happening as this plays out. And I'm not sure that the county has made any serious mistakes, but I think that we need to continue to look at all the different aspects of growing, the limitations of sales. It's a big issue that needs to be thoughtfully planned out.
If you listened to the news yesterday, you would have heard that there's 8 murders in Indiana, I believe it was.
Ohio, Piketon, Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Related to
And
marijuana?
there were 4 different places that they found these people dead. 3 of them was at marijuana farms.
Yeah, it's a professional hit.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So,
so. They really don't know right now.
Well,
But they
It's
suspect
leaning
it's-
that way.
it's pretty good
Yeah.
indication if you're at 3 pot farms.
I
Is
have,
marijuana legal?
Well, as elected officials,
No.
we have to go with what people say.
Oh,
People say
that-
they want it legalized.
Oh, they agree,
and
yeah, there's nothing,
So
the
we
people,
need to find a way to do it.
that's right. So they have to look at where are you gonna grow it, where is it gonna be contained? How is it gonna be contained and make the people of the county safe?
And there's movement at a federal level too, they're starting to talk about, and I'm talking with Suzanne Bonamici a few months ago. They're trying to resolve the money issue so that it doesn't have to be a cash business.
it's a huge issue. That's what my wife does for, she's a federal crimes investigator.
Oh, I
It's a huge issue.
thought she funded marijuana.
Five plants.
I've got an interesting little question for all 5 of you. There's 5 of you running for one position, and unless one of you gets 50%, there'll be at least 2 of you will
Going
be
to the general.
in a runoff in the general election. After listening to everything we've had here today, not colluding yourself, who would you vote for county commissioner? And we'll start with you, Will, since you look so concerned about it.
Who would I vote
Other
for?
than yourself.
I haven't thought about it.
I mean, which of these candidates would you vote for other than yourself?
Well, I know Brady more than I know the other 3 because we ran against each other 2 or 3, 4 times, and so we battle it out. And then we go to our corners. I'd probably vote for Brady just because he's been in the arena the longest.
Carolyn? Carolyn.
Oh, that's my mother. I've been called that many times, and I find it to be a compliment. That is an impossible question to answer, I believe. I would not vote for any of them. I would vote for myself, and I would not
I have to
recommend.
agree with Margaret.
I would not recommend
Me
voting
too.
for any. If you
They're all
ask
going
me
to vote
who,
for Margaret.
maybe if you ask me who I would not
Showing
vote for,
leadership,
I might be able to go there. But no, I'll refrain from that
No,
one too.
I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Right, I don't want to either.
It was a nice try.
Well, she didn't answer the question.
Right, well,
She
I
didn't
would
answer
vote
the
for
question.
myself,
She
I
didn't.
would not vote for, I
Apparently
guess
she's abstaining.
I'd have to leave it blank.
Present.
I'd write my own
You
name
would feel the
in.
same way? Yeah,
Brady?
I'd vote for myself.
If I wasn't running, I would probably vote for Margaret, if I was not running. Obviously, I'm running, so I think I would, but I would probably vote for Margaret.
Thanks,
Well,
Brady.
we are running close to the amount of time that I had allocated for this. I do want to have one quick kind of final thing. I do want to go around and have you each briefly, because we have been here for a while, explain why you're the person people should vote for, what distinguishes you from the other candidates, what is the main part of your character that makes you the best choice for the voters.
I think actually how I just responded to the last question that you asked, which is not an easy one to answer honestly, and I think that that's part of my character that does make me the best person, is that sometimes you're faced with a decision that's not easy, whether it's CC Rioter or voting for a candidate that you're running against. And you have to make a decision as a county commissioner. You can't just say, oh no, I can't answer the question. I have to answer it. And so you make a decision based upon your best available information that you have. And sometimes you're going to make a mistake and you're going to say, okay, that wasn't the right choice. And you acknowledge the mistake to me. And that's what's sorely lacking, I think, at all levels of our government. both the county and, is that people are only human, and I believe sincerely that the electorate is more forgiving than we give them credit for. And I think that some of the issues we have to take accountability as voters, is that we sort of have this idea that your county commissioner or your city councilor or your port commissioner has to be perfect, and they don't. You can make a mistake and you say, yeah, that was in hindsight a mistake, and here's how I would have done it differently, and then you can move on. Instead of spending years trying to deny that it's a mistake and justify what you did wrong, just say, yeah, it was a mistake.
Okay. Susan?
I think two things. One of them would be my experience previously. I spent 7 years on the St. Helens School Board, 14 years on the Commission on Children and Families, 5 years on the St. Helens City Council, and I think that's given me some valuable experience in government, in administration, planning, policy management, finance, and an understanding of how changing social and economic influences impact the county. Also, I am a listener. I can't promise I'll always agree with you. I can promise, though, that I will listen and consider your point of view.
Okay. Joe?
As former commissioner, my record stands pretty firm. I say as I do, and I do as I say. I've always been that way. Anybody that's worked with me will tell you the same thing. You know exactly where I stand on any issue at any time. And that's where I come from.
Margaret?
I believe that I bring a great deal of breadth of experience to this office. Not only have I been during my lifetime been involved in agriculture, I have developed a product to sell, a Permaloft, a wool building insulation. I was the first one to manufacture and sell this in the United States. So I've run a small business, met a payroll, I've been active my whole life in civic affairs. I have a family background of being involved in my community and being a positive force. And the relationships that I have developed throughout my lifetime will serve me well in being able to be an effective person as a county commissioner, to reach out to folks and work with them in a collaborative way rather than a combative way, in order to achieve what we need to do and to balance our economy, our environment, and our cultural interests in Columbia County.
Wayne?
I've been a successful businessman for 35 years, running my own company, meeting payrolls, putting projects together. I've done business with a number of businesses in the county. You can call any of them. I'm current. I've never gone bankrupt. I've watched with dismay as different budgets have been wasted in the county. I didn't realize there was such a need for people that understand budgeting until I watched what happened at with the hospital. They funded study after study. They hired lawyers. They paid them $70,000. They paid them $100,000 to do studies on something that from the jump wasn't going to work. And the county does that too. You kind of cover your backside by hiring these high-paid consultants to come in and tell you whatever it is your itching ears want to hear. And I won't do that. I'll make up my own mind. I'll figure it out myself. I'll ask the questions. I'll research it. I'll call up different commissioners in different counties and find out how they did it. I will figure out how it works. And I won't okay the $100,000 consultant or the $70,000 lawyer when we have a competent county council right in our own county. It doesn't make sense to me. I'll watch over the tax dollars, and I'll try to keep property taxes the lowest they can possibly be. And I'll try to make Columbia County one of the best counties to live around Portland, Oregon that there is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, we'll just wrap it up.
Good to go.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Talk about